Job Hunting
101.
providing you with the tools you need in your job search. Job Hunting
101. Hi, my name is Jamel Wilds, Lead Business Services Recruiter with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. We're here today to talk about career path planning in our Job Hunting Series 101. We're here today with Dale Green, who is a career manager with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance.
Glad to be here with you.
Thank you. Glad to see you. As well as Joanna DiPietro. She is the Director of Talent Acquisition at One Touch Direct. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So today, as I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about career path planning. I want to first talk with you about what is a career path, or a career map is really point from point A to point Z. And some people have a really good idea of what they want to do with a career, and then other people don't have such a great idea about what they want to do. I would like for Joanna, for you to talk a little bit about your role at One Touch Direct, and talk first about how what kind of career opportunities you have at One Touch Direct, and how people could apply for your job openings.
Okay, excellent. So One Touch Direct is a call center. We have in Tampa, we have 3 locations. We have one on Sly Avenue, which is heavily recruiting right now for sales agents, as well as entry-level help desk.
Is it a continuous need for those kinds of positions?
It really is. We have at least one class every month. We're looking for about 15 to 20 agents a month.
Okay.
Right now we have growth happening, so we have more than just attrition. We need new people. We need new people, and we need a lot of them right now.
Good.
We're looking for 100 people really a month for the next few months.
Wow, great, great, continuous needs. What kind of company is One Touch Direct?
One Touch Direct is a call center, and we represent brands like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T. A lot of the programs that are hiring right now are Verizon, AT&T, IBM.
And so then what does One Touch Direct do? Is it like a third party?
We represent their brand. So if they ask us to do sales and market, and they want to increase their customer acquisition, we are contacting customers on their behalf and upselling them, selling them new products, new services. Or we are answering calls, customer service, billing, that sort of thing. Retention we've done click to chat.
Good.
Really any service that they need,
Good.
we flex and we provide
Great.
it.
And then how do people go about applying for some of the positions?
All our application process is online. So we suggest that everyone go on our website, www.onetouchdirect.com, and apply. There's a short assessment afterwards, about a 30-minute assessment, and somebody from my staff will contact them, bring them in for an interview. We'd like to make sure it's a mutual fit, let them meet our operations group, and make sure that it's a mutual fit for both of us.
Good, good. Now you talk a little bit about the interview. So getting back to career path planning, how important is it that when a person comes to you in an interview knows what they want out of a career and what they want out of their next job? How important is that to you as an employer?
For us, it's extremely important. Our company, there's opportunity all over the place. So when someone comes in and they know that they are interested in sales, but they would like to be a sales supervisor or a sales trainer, account manager, outside sales, it's great because we know where to direct these people.
Good.
We're trying to not only sell them the role that we're hiring for, but we're trying to sell them a future of here's where you can grow to, here's where you go next, here are all the opportunities that you should expect to see within a short period of time.
Good.
I encourage them to talk to people that are tenured with our company that started as agents or started as a supervisor and now are as a director or as a manager, so they can learn and kind of hear firsthand it's possible. It's possible for me to grow. So if they come in with some direction, here's what I'm looking for. I know that this is entry level, but this isn't where I'm looking to stay. Here is where I'm looking to go.
Good.
It's helpful because we place them, and I feel like we can give them a better understanding of what's possible.
Good. So there's room for advancement.
Absolutely.
That's good. So let's describe your ideal candidate. What would you describe in your ideal, what would be the qualities of your ideal sales candidate, inside sales representative?
For us, an ideal sales candidate is someone who has experience with customer service. We need them to have good customer service, good communication skills. We also need this person to have some experience selling something, whether it's selling knives, that we've had lots of people come in selling knives, or vacations. We do want them to be selling a product that the customer didn't necessarily ask for.
Okay.
because what we ask our agents to do is create interest, create need, really ask a lot of discovery questions and find out how the product or service that we're selling would benefit the customer.
Okay.
So that requires them to kind of control the conversation, lead the conversation down a path that will end hopefully in a sale.
Okay, good, good, good. All right. So Dale, getting back to the career path planning part, how often should a person take stock or inventory of their career and start to create a career map?
I'd probably say 2 or 3 times a year. They need to keep their skills fresh, their assessments, their interests, and find out, not be all over the place, all over the map, but decide on, sort of narrow it down. There are a lot of possibilities out there. The job market is growing, but out of all the possibilities, what do I really want to do? Come up with the big 3 or the big 5, and then concentrate on those. Keep their resume fresh. If they have new skills, if they've done any volunteering, that's a good way to fill out a time for unemployment when they weren't working. So they should keep it fresh.
Okay. What goes into creating the career plan? What would you say goes into it?
I think the first thing to do is to deal with the assessments, to find out, okay, what am I best suited for? What's my plan A? What's my plan B? What's my plan C? And don't go too far from that. As Joanna said, they're looking for a few good people, and the opportunity might not be for everybody, but what can you do? What can you do best? Can you sell best? Can you talk best? Can you, as you said, suggest sell? I think that's really important. And if you can do those kind of things and you can see yourself planning to go there, such as One Touch Direct, then hone in on it, but always have a backup plan.
Okay.
And the backup plan might be just a survival job to get you from point A to point B.
And I've heard you talk a lot about the survival job, which is important. When I first started with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, you talked to me about, people that if you're at a point where, you may not be getting the job of your dreams, but something that may lead you to the job of your dreams is what you had suggested. So tell me a little bit about what is a survival job.
Well, let me just say that at One Touch Direct, and I think I can say this, that's not necessarily a survival job.
Right.
You need to hang your hat on a career.
Right.
Stay there.
Right.
And do well. If you want to make
Right.
some money, you have to sell products. You have to close deals.
Right.
Is that about right?
That's right.
That's what happens.
Okay.
But a survival job might be a job. It's not necessarily a career. Something with One Touch Direct is more
Of a career.
Of a career, long term. And a survival job might be temporary. It might be 90 days. It might be 120 days.
Okay.
It might be just to get from point A to point B.
Right.
While you're getting your training or while you're preparing for that, I want to hang my hat here at One Touch Direct, for example, because we have an employee here and we want to we'll try to fill her needs because
Oh,
that's
yeah,
what
absolutely.
happens.
Thank you.
It doesn't-
Absolutely.
The world, the world goes round when there's a buyer and a seller, and there's a candidate and there's a job filled. That's what happens.
Absolutely. So I know that people can, getting back to the career path planning, people are either good at information or skills or dealing with people. Tell me a little bit about how important it is to also assess your interests and hobbies.
Well, you can do some transferable things. Do I like to, for example, I like to talk. So do I like to talk to people?
Okay.
I like to present. I like to come up with new ideas. Well, I might, fit in an organization like that, or I might, do I want to work alone? Can I work under stress? Do I want to work outside? Do I want to work inside? All that goes into career planning. Because,
Okay.
I mean, again, you have to find the ideal setting. I think I always have to see a window.
Okay.
My setting, I have to
Okay.
go out and look outside.
Okay. And then people can always come to the One Stop Center, the 9215 North Florida Avenue office or the Brandon office or Plant City to
Or
get
Ruskin.
or Ruskin to actually get the career to meet one-on-one with a career counselor. Is that correct?
Well, in our standard operating procedure has changed somewhat. So business services, they do more intensive matching, but basically they can come to any of our one-stop centers. We give them just enough to get started. We're like a jumper cable, battery booster.
Okay.
We kind of get you started,
Okay.
get you going. We don't get a job for anybody. We show you how to get a job and to keep a job, keep your skills fresh. That's what we do.
Sure. Sure. I know that there's also a tool that people can use at the One Stop Center called mynextmove.gov. It's a very valuable tool that people can utilize in order to determine what their skills, interests, aptitudes, and abilities are. So we welcome people and encourage people to use that tool. Let's talk a little bit about work accomplishments. How important is it that people know their work accomplishments, are able to kind of articulate their past work accomplishments when in their interview? How important is that?
I think it's important. It's helpful. We use the interview. During the interview, I use their resume as a guide, and I want them to fill in the blanks.
Good.
So I don't want too much information on their resume. I want to know where they've been and highlight for me what you feel your accomplishments have been over the past 5 or 7 years.
Good.
And then I want them to tell me what they feel they're good at. Tell me what your employer would say. What would your last supervisor say is your biggest strength? What would they say is your weakest area of improvement? And sometimes it's difficult for people to really sit back and think, well, I guess I'm always on time, I'm reliable. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they don't know, and they really have a hard time thinking about, well, I don't really know what they would think.
Or I need to learn to take breaks.
Right.
On
Right.
time, because
Yeah.
I mean, that's time management. So that's really important.
Okay, well, good. Well, thank you very much. We're going to take a break right now, and we'll be back in a few moments.
The Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance and WorkNet Pinellas offer workforce solutions designed to improve your business. To learn more about our no-cost programs and services, visit workforcetampa.com or worknetpinellas.org.
Hi, I'm Jamel Wilds, Lead Business Services Recruiter with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance, joined by Dale Green, Career Manager with Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance. Welcome back, Dale.
Thank you for having me.
During the break, we were talking a little bit about taking inventory. Tell me a little bit about what customers can do to take inventory of their skills and abilities.
Like going to a job fair, the candidate should listen to what the employer is saying about what they're looking for in an ideal candidate. Then you go over there and prepare yourself either on site or come back, and when you're doing your online application, you'll be able to put everything in to sell yourself, to market yourself.
Sure.
But you want to take inventory. You want to talk about my computer skills, my analytical skills, my problem solving skills, if that's what that job or what that organization is in need of.
Sure.
So that's the really biggest thing. I always say one size resume does not fit all.
Right.
If you apply for 10 different jobs, you're probably going to have to craft 10 different versions of your resume.
Right.
And in Employ Marketplace, it says must have the following in order to apply. Well, if they have 7 bullets, you must be able to meet the qualifications of all 7, not 5 of the 7, not 6 of the 7. So the inventory is unless you put it down on paper, Word document, write it down, your little pad, or whatever, you won't know. You might want to refer to that and talk about, gee, I didn't know I could do that. I forgot I could do that, which is multitasking.
One thing that I also like for people to look at, I've heard that people can do, is that you need to take stock of your environment. Take stock of what kind of environment brings out your best work, whether it's a small working environment, small company, large company, that kind of thing, as well as, like I talked about before, whether or not you are best able to work with people, information, or things.
Right. That whole thing about telecommuting or working at home 3 days a week, well, the people who are based upon inclement weather or something like that, that might be a temporary thing, but everybody doesn't have the discipline to work at home and do things that they need to do the data entry or the 10,000 keystrokes and what have you.
Right.
As I said before the break, that I have to see a window. I can't be in a closed environment. I have to be able to get access to outside so I can go inside and outside.
Right.
Trying to help people. People should have reasonable expectations about what they can do, but they shouldn't be shy and bashful. And it's just like a child said, well, how are you doing in school? I'm honors and AP advanced. Don't say it loud. Say I'm taking honors and advanced placement. I'm dual enrolled, and it's a challenge, but I think I'm up for the challenge. You have to do that when you're interviewing.
Exactly.
You have to actually say that I'm multitask. I'm a multitasker. I come to work early. I stay late. I'm detail oriented, and I'm a problem solver, and I can deal very well with my internal customers as well as my external customers. You have to brag on yourself.
Yes,
Who's
you
the
do.
best person to brag on you? It's you.
Good.
Or it's me. It's me and you for you. Yes.
Right. And then candidates can also ask other people whether or not what are their best skills, like what do other people see them as being good at doing, so that they may not have an idea of that themselves, but if they get an idea from asking trusted friends, trusted advisors of what they would be best suited for, that might be a good tool to use as well.
Right. People say, well, you're real good at that. Don't say I know Microsoft Office Suite. Say I know Microsoft Office Suite, and I'm learning some other things that will make me competitive, because after all, competition, Jamel, it's competitive out there.
It is.
And what's going to set you apart from the next 3 candidates or the last 4 candidates?
Right.
And I think it's that 30-second elevator speech.
Right.
But in that elevator speech, that 30-second, and they actually have people who practice the elevator going from one floor to the other floor, and tell me about yourself in 30 seconds. You better bring it. You better bring your A game.
Practice. I agree. I think practicing that elevator speech, knowing who you are, what you can offer a company, what kind of experiences that you've had, what value do you bring to that company is very, very important. And being able to practice that elevator speech is key. I think to getting a job and being able to go forward with your career. So I think that's great.
Exactly. I do want to add something, and that is when you're talking in your career plan, you should probably put a buzzword that I want to help grow your business.
Yes.
I want to be your next success story.
Yes.
And so that employer can see you, they're already there yet.
Yes.
And the other thing too is, when can you start work? I'm available to start Monday after next. However, if you need me sooner, I can be there.
Yes.
Assuming orientation, drug tests, tour of the plant, you're just sort of seeing yourself there. And the other thing too, a candidate should ask, we talk about jobs and careers, they're first cousins, really. A job is just, somebody takes it as a job, but a career is more of a long-term path. But you have to ask, if I can offer you all those qualities that I just talked about, can I get you to offer me the job today? Right. Or can I get you to offer me the position?
Right.
You have to ask, just like the car salesperson ask you if I can, I have all these payments and warranties and everything in the right color.
Right.
Can I get you to buy the car today?
Exactly. Now, what about reviewing career and job trends? How important is it to know what the current job trends are?
That's a good question. You might want to look at the Sunday paper. You might want to look at online, or you might want to look at the Tampa Bay Business Journal, Florida Trend, something like that, and see what the topical information says, so you can talk intelligently about what's happening.
Right.
Is telecommuting the thing? I don't know. Can I do it? Not sure. But if you don't, you can't, I guess the analogy goes that you shouldn't put, or you're unable to put, a square peg in a round hole.
Right.
I'm not going to be happy. That's not going to fit for me.
Right.
So why even bother?
Right. And then being able to look at Employ Florida, so going to www.employflorida.com and looking at the kinds of job opportunities that are available on our website, and being able to say, oh, there's a lot of, this is the latest trend in technology. People are looking for iOS developers, or they're looking for whatever it is that is the latest trend. You're going to be able to find it in Employ Florida, in the Employ Florida marketplace.
Right.
Right.
Also, inventory or planning as it relates to using those $5 words and those $7 words. What I mean, in other words, you want to be able to talk intelligently, but write that down in your career plan. Certain buzzwords like, I want to help grow your business. I want to help improve your bottom line.
Exactly.
I want to be successful. I want you to be successful.
Exactly.
Sure.
And I know that when people are out of work, sometimes they start to go into training programs to help improve their skills. And we do have that available at the One Stop Center. We do have the WIA department that's available for to further your skills in training. How important is it for career seekers to upgrade their skills?
I think it's important, but for example, in the area of technology, information technology, I mean, if they talk about this certified systems engineer and being A+ certified, you have to keep up with what's topical and what's happening, and you have to keep current with it. And again, you add that to your plan somewhere and put it on a little zip drive, and keep one in your safety deposit box, and keep one on your person or in your desk. Have a backup to the backup so that you'll know, and you can revisit, revised, just like those little memos and things come out. It says revised 12/81. Well, that's a long time ago, but 2012. you know, December 2012, and now it might be another time in another year. When did you last update the plan? How current is it? So you should keep your resumes and everything
Current.
up current.
So then you advise for people to have short-term as well as long-term goals?
Yes, I mean, in
Okay.
other words, if they want to see themselves at a company where, it's often asked in the interview, Jamel, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, I see myself being in upper management. Don't be bashful, don't be shy. A person who's interviewing really, they won't go up unless you go up.
What are the kinds of things that people can do to make sure that they move up in a company, the kinds of attitudes and that they need to have?
Boy, attitudes. That part about come to work early, stay late, detail oriented, and don't complain. There are 17 people, let's say, I'm picking a number, to take your place or waiting to qualify for that job.
Right.
Don't jeopardize or don't blow the opportunity. So you want to be able to, I mean, if you have a dinner appointment with a friend and it's at 6:30 and you know you're not going to get through to 5:45 plus travel time, just call your friend. Do you want to satisfy your friend or do you want to go up in the company? Call your friend and say, listen, I'll have to reschedule the appointment
Right.
because I have a task that I was asked to do at the 11th hour here at work, and I'm going to go ahead and use, in career planning, take inventory of that.
Right.
Write that down. Write that down that you did something that you were asked to do, and I looked at it as job security too.
Exactly. And then I'm always telling people, never tell someone that's not my job. You know, never tell your boss, never say, you know, that's not my job. I encourage people to go above and beyond, actually. How important is it to take on special projects, do you think?
That shows, and what you might want to put on your plan is the word initiative. I'm a self-starter. I'll do other things that are my favorite is my other duties as assigned. I get called to do that a lot, asking. It's almost like I'm the Shell answer man. You ask me this, but I want to try to. It's analytical, it's critical thinking. Let me find out. So if I get asked that again, I'll know how to answer it.
Sure.
And so you have to keep that in the memory bank or keep it on a Word document or something like that.
Okay. And what advice would you give to the unemployed job seeker
Don't
looking
give
to
up.
further? Don't give up?
Don't give up.
Okay.
If I'll give the example of a home building products company, which will remain anonymous, so to speak. And this person used to recruit at Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance in the HR field, and they told me that they sent out 7,000 resumes.
Wow.
7,000. That's a lot of pointing and clicking.
Right.
Well, here's the deal. When a candidate came in and said, well, I'm about to move to Philadelphia because I've looked for over 1,200 jobs, and I said, oh boy, it's 1,200 is not 7,000.
Right.
And it was actually, what if this person had stopped at job number 6,998,
Right.
99? Actually had to go over 7,000 before he got his six-figure job in HR at a building home products store or company.
Right.
So persistence, that's really what I'm saying. Don't give up. Don't give up. And you have to smile even in the face of rejection.
Right.
I'll be willing to work for a 1099. I'll do contract work. I'll do whatever it takes.
Good.
I'm ready, willing, able, and available to work.
Good, good, good. And should, even once they get the person gets their job, should they continue to kind of look at their career, take stock of it, and try to figure out, where do I go from here?
Excellent question, because they should keep themselves fresh. Don't get stale. Right. Don't get in a bureaucracy of, well, I'm just doing my job, I'm just clipping this, and I'm just, sort of ho-hum, mundane kind of thing. Make it interesting, make it fresh, get up, move around.
Making sure you keep abreast of the latest technical skills, whether it's staying abreast of the Microsoft Excel or getting PowerPoint if you don't have PowerPoint. I think that's very, very important as well.
Right,
Would you say?
and networking with people.
Yes.
Talk to people.
Yes.
And find out what's going on, and be willing to help people. Be willing to share some advice, and you too can become somewhat of an expert in the field of surviving, whether it's a 90-day survival or a long-term career that you're looking. But you have to have a plan. You have to revisit your plan often and write it down and know where it is.
And so how can the people at the Tampa Bay Workforce Alliance assist with this plan?
Well, one thing, in terms of the career planning, we show you how to do it, how to accomplish it. Everybody has their own style. There are some employability classes that offer professional interviewing, brushing up on resume skills, breaking barriers for those who have barriers. They can go to these classes that are 2 hours in length, absolutely no charge, just email, and people volunteer sometimes too much. Well, I don't know too much about computers. I'm not too good. We don't really want to hear that. It's kind of like, well, if we have some classes that are free, we can take you to the water fountain, but you have to press down and drink.
Exactly.
You have to consume. You have to take advantage.
Exactly.
And please get yourself a pen and some paper. Don't come in there paperless in Tampa or paperless in Hillsborough County.
Right.
Paperless or penless. You know
Yes.
Yeah.
And so these classes are offered, you mentioned employability
12
skills
a
classes.
month. 12 a month.
Okay, 12 a month.
In all of our one-stop centers.
Okay, and the one-stop centers are in, we talked about this
Right,
earlier.
9215 North Florida Avenue in Tampa. That's the largest, 100,000 square feet. A lot of people come through there.
Sure.
Brandon, Plant City, and as well as Ruskin.
Good, 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 good. And the types of classes that we can offer, I know we're offering resume writing, interviewing skills.
Job power, how to pump yourself up, how to reinvent yourself. And that inventory, and you come out of there with it's a PowerPoint presentation. They're talking to you about things. They don't read it word for word.
Right.
And we're just trying to pump you up and motivate you to get out there into the market and sell yourself.
Exactly. Now, do you have to sign up for the classes?
Yes, you have to send an email.
Okay.
So we'll know who's coming and that sort of thing.
Okay.
But the class, and people can take them as often as they like, because they will help improve your situation and your outlook.
Good.
Sort of reinvent yourself, if you will.
Good, good,
My
good.
favorite class, I think, is Job Power.
Is Job Power.
Just pump you up.
That's is that a new class?
Yeah, pretty much,
Okay.
pretty new, and it's ongoing, and candidates can take it and ask questions. They want you to participate. You don't want to just sit there like as my mom said, a bump on a log, and just sitting there, not asking, not participating. Participate.
And then people in unemployment can also come to the class. People receiving unemployment services can also
Yes,
come
they
to the
can
class.
they can use the class, go into a class in lieu of their 5 job searches for the week.
Right.
I will tell you one quick story. Is a candidate came in and is required, she was drawing unemployment. She had worked 28 years, just wanted to work a couple of 3 more years before retiring. Well, instead of the required 5 jobs a week, she looked for 35 jobs a week.
Wow, did she get a job really quickly?
She did in about
Okay.
6 weeks after she went through WIA, Workforce Investment Act training, where they have 90 different targeted occupations in demand, and 60 different vendors or schools. So she went through that and she got a job quickly. So the law of averages says that if you put in 140 a month, my gosh, you're going to probably, if you got 10% return, you're going to get like 14 interviews.
I agree.
And I never saw such a 100-pound lady jump up and down off the ground with happiness and confidence that she was working. I haven't seen her since. We like to run people out of the building.
Right.
Right into the workplace.
Right into the
We're always
workplace.
welcome there. If somebody heard me say that, maybe they understand it. You're always welcome here, ma'am. But if you get out of the workplace like at One Touch Direct or other employers, you're good to go.
Yeah, good, good, good. So I know we also have something called the Professional Networking Group. The Professional Networking Group meets on Tuesdays now.
Right, and they can access that information by going to www.workforcetampa.com. Click on Candidate Services, and they'll find out where the off-site location is.
Sure. And what is we also fondly refer to it as the P&G Group.
P&G, Professional
Tell me a
Network.
little bit about what the P&G Group is and does.
You have people from similar backgrounds, pretty much for the most part, either bachelor's or master's degrees, a lot of experience, and they're networking. So my job did go overseas as an engineer, and I'm networking and telling somebody else, but for the comptroller or accountant or accounts receivable, accounts payable, you can do this too.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to candidates about career path planning and what they can do today. And my name is Jamel Wild, your host for today. This is Career Path Planning, and it's part of our Job Hunting 101 series. Thanks so much for watching.